Evie. Hello and welcome to episode 23 of Not Another Leeds podcast. Forgive me, I'm wearing all black. I've just come back from the funeral from the man who invented lozenges. There was no coughing. Anyway, let's get into, I heard the eye rolls. Welcome to this week's episode. First and foremost, Big Kev is back. How are we, Kev?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'll do.
And a little bit left.
Correct. Well,
Yes,
it hangs that way, but yeah.
It's good to have you back. Work, and all that. And my other counterpart is James, as they say in Spain. How are we, James?
I don't know what the word is for I'm doing okay in Spanish, so but better than okay, because Leeds are really good and I'm always happy. So I'm good, mate.
Muy bien will do. Muy bien. And we have the Queen
Muy
of the
bien,
North.
bitch. Sorry.
It's like as soon as we go live, James's internet goes, right, I'm off now. We have the Queen of the North, the Queen of the Peacocks herself, has joined us this fateful Sunday evening. Evie, how are we?
Ever so well, although it's a Sunday and it feels weird that Leeds haven't played already. So I'm feeling like by the time like tomorrow comes, I'll feel like I haven't even had a weekend because there's not been a Leeds game.
The most important thing is that Leeds didn't ruin your weekend, but they can ruin the beginning of your week tomorrow.
That is true.
Yeah, I've seen on social media that obviously with Valentine's Day just happened that James, your husband, did well, didn't he? He actually remembered for one.
He did.
I've got a copy of the card. Is this what he got you? Be my Aaron sometime? Yeah.
No.
No. Oh well.
That don't get you wet.
Oh,
sorry.
Filter.
Yeah,
James,
the weather. It was pouring down. Yeah.
It has been
really,
miserable weather.
Really
I agree. Welcome back, Evie. Right then, let's get into the Watford game, if you can remember. First and foremost, 4-0. Great game, Kevin.
Absolutely fantastic. Honestly, watching Leeds recently, obviously you haven't had my stress on the show for like a couple of months now because I've obviously been off doing bits, but I reckon the last month of Leeds has been the least stressful of time I've ever been a Leeds fan ever. It's like the games are just done. They're just done. Apart from Burnley, everything's just easy. Just get an early goal and then it's just so good. I swear, some of my grey hair has come back. It's turned back to a normal colour. It's that good for me at the moment. I swear. It's not therapeutic.
What's the opposite to receding? Because since Leeds have been just dominating games, my hair's coming forward again. I don't know.
Proceeding?
Yeah.
Proceeding?
Yeah. Proceeding, yeah. That's it's a new thing. It's a real thing that happens.
And a bit of turkey as well. That helps too.
Yeah, turkey does help. Yeah, you're right. James, how did you find the Watford game, mate?
I found it by flicking through some channels, and then there it was, and I thought, "There's the game." Now it was it's just lovely, weren't it? We were comfortable not having the ball and letting them just pass it around for a bit, and then my favourite goal was the second goal, the way we just broke, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I just so easy at the moment, isn't it? We're just taking the ball off them. Every mistake we're sort of punishing them, and every game since the 7-0 should have been about 7-0. So
especially Coventry,
really good at the moment. Coventry, yeah. Jesus Christ.
In fact, just before we come to you, Evie, I know you're waiting there patiently. Kev, what were your thoughts on the Coventry game? Because that is a bit of a derby for you. And
they call it the Kevin Baker derby around here, yeah. So, I mean, again, I'm honestly, sometimes it could be a bit over dramatic and stuff like that. That could have been 10-0. Really could have been 10-0.
Should have been.
Mm-hmm.
Should have been. Now then, Evie, It is your turn to speak your truth. How did you find the Watford game? Were you stressed at all at any point?
I mean, I'm always stressed when it comes to Leeds because it takes years off. I'm actually 20, but Leeds has aged me like a good 12 years. I thought we were scintillating without having to be incredibly dominant of the ball. We looked very, very comfortable without it, and they just looked rather pathetic considering it was a home game, and they had very poor support as well. All you could hear on the TV were Leeds fans from minute 1 to minute 90. Yeah, absolutely fantastic game. A real kind of, I think it was kind of like an eye-opener of how we could play in the Premier League in terms of we're probably not going to dominate the ball as much in the Premier League as we have done in the Championship. So we need to be comfortable without the ball, but still keep a good structure and be very quick on the counter-attack. And we were absolutely brilliant on the counter-attack. So yeah, could not complain. And like Kev said, it could have been another game where it was 7. We were still, even though we scored 4, we were still incredibly wasteful. And we have been, that game and the Coventry game. So yeah, fantastic games. We could have been well up into the double figures over the last 3 games.
Yeah, 100% agree there. I mean, Dan James for the first goal, Kev, obviously a mistake by their defender. What were you thinking there? Do you think you were going to sky it there?
Jan Dames, never, mate. He's the man. Jan Dames is Leeds' best player. I'll be honest, Jan Dames is the best player in the league right now. There's nobody touching him. And at the start of the season, I thought it would be Ramazani and Nonto. That would be starting every game. Them two are just playing out their skin. And I haven't been on since, but do you remember when I was talking about Manor Solomon, how I thought we were going to send him back, didn't I?
Yeah.
He's that bad. So I'm going to hold my hands up and say, nah, he's been a revelation too. So, I mean, them two, Nonto and Ramazani, walk into starting lineups of every team in that league, even Burnley, even Sheffield United, Sunderland, they'd all walk in and they can't even get a sniff. So, yeah, very good. Jan Dames, though, what a player, man. I've always had reservations about Jan Dames, thinking, is he got it? He's fast. He just relies on his pace. But the past 2 years is just his output, his calmness on the ball. He's just so good. And yeah, you're going to get there. Yeah.
And on Dan James, or Jan Dames, as he's known in Holland, it's the first Welshman to score 10-plus league goals in consecutive seasons for Leeds United since John Charles between 52 and 53 and 56 to 57 seasons.
Well, that's good for his being, isn't it? Because he's voted one of the best players of all time in the world. Yeah. So,
what do you think to that then, James?
Well, that he was what his record that he just broke. Great, fantastic. I'm just happy that he's playing well for Leeds, mate. I think he's one of the best players in the league at the moment, isn't he? He's unplayable, and he could have had a hat trick. That little audacious shot from about 40 yards probably could have run past the other player as well, and just made it really easy. But he's got that confidence to try it. So yeah, he's setting up people. He's scoring. That's like I say, that second goal, the way he took that goal was amazing. The whole build up, Aronson, the ball through to Perot was fantastic. His little touch in. Dan James, yeah, he's on top form, and like we're lucky. Yeah, like as I say, Kev said, Nonto and Ramazani being kept out, and it's wonderful to have these players on the bench that can come on. We're quite lucky, and but Dan James was amazing.
Yeah, he's surely he's in the shout for one of the players of the season, Evie. Surely,
absolutely. He was one of my players of the season last season, let alone this season. I think he's so selfless, and he doesn't stop both, just actually, in terms of he physically doesn't stop, but in terms of his mentality, he doesn't give up. He is so persistent. And I've said before, the only time I've ever seen Dan James's head drop was when he came back after international duty, obviously having missed the penalty for Wales last season. But other than that, he doesn't let his own kind of mishaps affect him when it comes to Leeds games. You know, he just carries on. Some people would, you know, shrink back into their shells, maybe, you know, start to lose confidence in themselves. But Dan James under Daniel Farke is the player that I believe that Bielsa wanted, but never got to be. So I'm really glad that after such a turbulent time, obviously going to Scum, then coming here, been played out of position, going to Fulham, not really being, not been played. Then coming here and been relegated, you know, and he just, I've never heard a single bad thing come out, you know, like a rumor of his behavior or attitude around the club, and also his output on the pitch has improved massively. So yeah, absolutely incredible. Love him. So yeah, if he can stay like that, I'm not saying that he's maybe starting in the Premier League, but he definitely deserves another shot at the Premier League. And regardless, he deserves to be an absolute bench option in the Premier League, because he could still, you know, show up against the bottom half teams. And I'd love if we went up and he scored a goal against Scum. Absolutely, would love that for
That'd be
him.
great. Would be great. That 100%.
Kevin Keegan, that I would, mate. That's big time.
Yeah.
He's still got speed though, so
Love
the
it.
Premier League teams will be scared of his speed because he can still get him
Yeah.
behind. So
I think we'd be
even his
better
speed
against Premier League
in the
teams
Premier
the way
League,
we play
they'll be
right now.
aware of
Yeah,
him.
yeah.
Yeah. And his
Yeah,
composure now
better
is a lot
teams
better,
come out,
so you might
because-
see him do well.
Yeah.
The fact that he does that week in, week out, Dan James, for me, and he's still doing it like the 80th minute, if he's still on the pitch, still sprinting down there. He doesn't have shift, and he's got an engine on him. And I think, like, I agree with you, Evie. I think Farke has improved Dan James massively compared to when we had him in the Premier League, you know. But, you know, it's hopefully it just continues to go on like that and scores another 50, in my opinion. The third goal, then, a bit of luck from Solomon. For Solomon, should I say, that it takes the deflection, wrong foot's the keeper. I think the keeper could have done better there, Kev.
Yeah.
Do you think?
Definitely. Yeah, but I mean, that guy's a Norwegian international, and I've kept my eye on him a long time since I signed him on Football Manager 3 years ago. So I thought he was going to be good, but nah, he was terrible as well. Bugger Watford.
Bugger Watford. Elton John's Watford. But yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts on Solomon then? You know, it seems though that you wanted to send him back in January because you didn't like him.
I didn't say I didn't like him. I just thought he just had at that time when I was talking about him, I didn't think he was good, and I thought like the fan base would saying how crap he was, and I thought the same. James even thought the same as well. So I'm throwing James under the bus there, but he's just come alive. He's just got a consecutive run of games in. He's shown what a player he is, and he is Premier League quality, and he just takes the mick out of players, doesn't he? And he's getting goals, assists. Them two, Dan James and Solomon, like their record recently is insane. Like between the pair of them, they've got like 16 goals between them in the last 2.5 months or something like that. That's amazing. So yeah, fair play. I'll eat my words there.
Happy to, aren't we? Like, I know a few people are. I mean, Twitter's not the barometer in which we should be taking the fan base, but you know, some people go to overreacting classes by looks of it on Twitter. It's unbelievable. James, Solomon for you, mate. Yeah, Solomon for you, mate. He's I think he's getting better and better, and he's getting back to. And you can see why Spurs wanted to buy him, and why he was in the Champions League and stuff. Obviously, we've got him because he has to get through this injury rehab. But he's too good for the Championship. And would you buy him, actually, James? 2 questions there.
The first one, I think that we're seeing what we all said at the start when we got him in. If he's performing at his best, he will be too good for us. He'll take this league. He'll take the piss out of this league. But he was like struggling at the start, and we thought like, are we going to get another Jed Spence that just did nothing and fucked off? But he's showing what he's worth, and he's doing what we thought he would do, and take the league, take the piss, and keeping Ramazani out and keeping Nonto out. His output's good now. He's contributing goals, assists, and this is what we wanted him for. I mean, I'm not giving it the celebration for the goal because it was a massive deflection, and he celebrated it like he just banged it in the top corner. He's like, yeah, I thought, chill out, mate. Yeah. you don't shoot, you don't score, I guess so. But he is, again, he's like, you've got him, you got Dan James. We're so lucky to have 4 top quality wingers that would walk into most teams in this league, and probably a few Premier League teams at the bottom right now. So, yeah, man, more power to them. Just keep going, because like I say, we start converting all these chances, we're going to win bloody 8-0 every game, and it'll just be so fantastic. So
it'd be great. It'd be absolutely quality if we won 8-0 every game, because then I'd have long flowing hair by the end of the season. But yeah, let's come to you, Evie. Solomon.
I think that if he can stay injury free, then I would definitely buy him. And I think that it would make sense, even if there's clubs offering Spurs more money, I reckon that he would come to us because he already knows that he would be a first team starter, whereas he would have to go and prove himself in another team, whereas he'll have had a year. And we know that Daniel Farke is loyal to people who have proven it, and he has done it in the Prem. So it's not like he's unproven. He's just been absolutely kind of annihilated with injuries. It does concern me with that, because we've got a few people who have injury repetition on the books, and we're trying to get rid of them. So to sign another one could potentially come back and slap us in the face. But I think his skill would outweigh that argument. And I am so happy that him and Dan James are forming a really good partnership. And also they're forming partnerships with their right back and left back counterparts. You know, that kind of both sides of the pitch are now incredibly dynamic, and the understanding that that Firpo has with Solomon and that Bogle has with Dan James is phenomenal, and it makes us incredibly. And then you've got, obviously the kind of niggly behaviour of Aronson in the middle, and then Pirro, who's managing to do some, brilliant weighted passes through the middle. We're essentially unstoppable on both flanks and through the middle of the pitch, which is kind of the worst possible thing for any championship team. So yeah, Solomon is a massive part of this current, I know we're not necessarily on a winning streak, but we haven't lost since in the league since November, I believe, at Blackburn. So it's a solid 2.5 months.
You bang on there, like in the No, I don't know. We were around that time, wasn't it? So since the 4-0 win over Oxford on 21st of December, Manor Solomon has created the most open play chances in the Championship, 18. Has the most open play assists, 5, and has the joint most big chances created, 7 of any player. It's. I just feel like as time goes on, we're gonna just keep breaking club records. And I've tweeted LUFC data a few times saying, "What's the record for breaking the most club records?" And he's just. I don't think anybody knows, because Farke, I mean, credit to him, he's created this team. Obviously he's got all the money and stuff like that, but you got Firpo and Bogle. Bogle for me has been one of the outstanding players. I think it's just been absolutely quality. Apart from he had that dip, but I mean, Bogle for you, Kev, massive, isn't he? And Firpo, them two.
Yeah, but especially recently as well. He's running through the pitch like Forrest Gump, and going like through everyone. Absolute class. He seems happy to be here. And I remember Sheffield United fans were saying that he was cack, weren't they, when we signed him? He's rubbish. But I remember him when they were in the Premier League, he was their best player. He scored. Who did he score against? Man United or Man City or someone
City,
like
I think.
that?
Yeah,
good. And for us, he just suits our system perfectly. You can see why we went out and got him. So yeah, brilliant. Really happy with Jayden Bogle. If everyone stays fit now, we'll win the next. We'll win all the games, I think.
Yeah, and especially with the defense as well. So another club record is Leeds have conceded just 19 goals in the first 32 games of the season, and the lowest tally in the campaign in the club's history. The best previous.
That should have been even lower as well.
Well, no, yeah.
That goal tally should be even lower, way lower.
And the goals for
idiotic
way higher.
goalkeeper at times. and some
Yeah,
shitty
and
goals.
the previous record was 21 goals after 32 matches under Don Revie in 73-74. So obviously, it would I just feel like
Parker's
just
better
break a
than Don
record.
Revie. What you're saying?
That's defensively. Stats don't lie. What can't speak can't lie.
Do you know what?
There we go.
It's really strange because I still feel quite underwhelmed as well. The way we're playing, the amount of goals we're scoring, the amount of goals we're not conceding. It's like we're not even trailblazing. It's really strange this season because we're doing really well. But I still think it could be better. That's the feeling I get about being a Leeds fan at the moment is it could be better.
I feel like I'm sure I don't know where I've seen it, but I'm sure we're on the same points now as we were last season, but we were third, which shows what the league was like last season. I'm sure Joe B will let us know in the comments because here he is. He's a fun guy and he's always got fun facts for us like this. Fun facts for you. Most we've scored in a match in our club's history is 8. Anyone fancy breaking more records? 100%. And I agree with Smarty here, where he says, "Can it be against Millwall, please?" I would. There's nothing more I would love than to smash those jelly eel eating knobheads.
Results.
Yeah, there is. There's some. What's our fixture list? How many games have we got left? Is it 14?
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 14. We've played 32.
Oh,
so
God.
It's 33rd tomorrow. So yeah.
We're getting business end, don't we? Now
it's a little bit.
Yeah.
So let's talk about my favourite goal then, the Peru goal, because I thought it was absolutely. In fact, I posted a reel on Instagram about it because I just thought it was absolute poetry. Mr. Super Peru. I just thought it was such a great feat from Peru. Sent one guy for a hot dog. In fact, Tanaka, let's talk about Tanaka with that little spin and then puts it through to Peru and then he just knocks it around and then puts it in the corner. Evie, a quality goal.
Absolutely beautiful goal. Yeah. It was, I described it as an angel dancing through the snow because it was just stunning to watch. When you watch the goal and you watch it in slow motion and you see him pass it from one foot to the other, sends, the guy, dives in and completely misses and he just kind of, pops it into the bottom corner. It's just stunning close control by Pirro. Tanaka, the way he just kind of completely did a 360 and the Millwall player was just following him round. Was it Ince?
Yes.
Following it.
It was.
It's just made it that little bit sweeter. And, weighted pass through to Solomon. And Solomon, again, not selfish and passed it through to Pirro. Because obviously we were already winning the game. So he kind of would have had bit within his rights to attempt to take that shot, but he didn't. And then Pirro, just kind of, I don't know, he just danced with it at his feet. It was like everything was in slow motion and the whole world around him slowed. And we were just able to focus in on him and just watch him kind of skate and dance around other players and slot it home incredibly. He's just so composed in those positions. If he had that type of touch everywhere else on the pitch, I think he'd be forgiven a lot more for other bits and pieces, that he does. But I absolutely love how effortless he finds things in the 9-yard and the 6-yard box.
I've got to say something about Joel Pirro again because I've kind of, I've been one of his biggest critics as well. But I looked at a stat today. He's got the best minutes per goals per ratio in the entire league. It says here on BBC website, he averages 0.66 goals per 90 minutes or something like that. No, maybe not. No, that can't be right. Minutes per goal, 136 minutes is the best in the league. Apparently,
too many numbers.
He's had less shots than that boy signs. Apparently, his goal conversion is 20%, that's phenomenal. That is, he's got the best minutes to goal. Remember, he was a sub at the start of the year as well. So I'm going to hold my hands up and say I was asking for him to be benched a lot at the start of the year, but again, he's doing well. I apologise, Joel. Please don't batter me. Yeah.
This is what I mean. Like, there's a lot of people that just out of pure stubbornness still want him dropped for Joseph. I feel like the balance scales, like Joseph, coming into this season, I was like, start him as our number 9, and did he start the first 8 games, I believe, And everyone thought he was going to have this. I mean, he's a talented
that.
player. You can see the potential there, but it's just over the course of the season. Perot's just like that phase where he came through, where he came on and scored every other game. And now it's obviously just tipped the scales there. James, I mean, do you see Perot keeping James out for the rest of the season now? And your thoughts on
Not
the
James. Joseph, yeah. Not
Sorry,
James.
Joseph, yeah. So many first names.
I think, I think we all had the same criticism of Perot, is that his goal scoring has never been in question. It's the other part of his game, and for games he was poor and he was missing, and you didn't see him. But now he's adding to his game. He's coming deep and he's getting little touches off, and he's rolling players and is being involved in the build-ups, and his passes are coming off. I mean, ever since that first 3 passes of Cardiff went nowhere, he's just been on point since. So it's like, this is what we wanted from him, to add to that game, to add that like dimensions up there, like, and get the passes off and stuff as well. So it's working. The goal, I thought it was a bit Zoolander-y. You could only turn in one direction, and Ince just fell for it every single time. It's like, what? So funny. And the Solomon pass in, it's not nice little reverse pass, because I thought he was doing the 1-2, but he went to Perot, and then lovely little feet, sent him on his ass, didn't he? Just rolled it in the bottom corner. And we can do that, and now he's just the forward that we wanted. So I'm happy for him. So yeah, Joseph now can sit and wait to come on as a substitute and do something, because he's going to be on the bench from now on, I think.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether it's just a psychology thing, where, because when he comes on, he just seems to like be beating himself up. When he scored against Cardiff, he didn't celebrate. He just sort of like, look, all the lads came around him and just started, like, well, you scored, and it won't take off for him. But yeah, I think he's got to try, and if and when we go up, I think he'll benefit from a loan stint somewhere. I do want to get Kev's thoughts before we move on about Millier, because we've not really spoke about him with you, Kev. But I think since the last time we conceded a goal, I think it was minus the cup, is Hull. Yeah, it was Hull. What's your thoughts on Millier, mate? He's obviously, I think they've made it easier on him. Took it back to basics, and he obviously did them really good saves against Coventry, which arguably you could say he got us all 3 points.
Well, I've been thinking about this, about Millier, and since that Hull goal, I thought, he'd get pulled out, and I thought he'd get dropped, but he's actually come back looking way more confident than he did before Hull. And he's passing out from the back has been so much better. He's coming and claiming things. And the Coventry game and who was it as well? He made a really big save in both of those games that could have changed it. And Coventry as well. Them 2 saves. Oh my God! If that first one goes in, it's a completely different football match. Yeah. And he's basically kept us in it. And the past few games has been brilliant. His distributions, amazing. He's kicking the ball out to the wing. It's actually hitting people. So. Do you know what? Farker was right. Again, there is a goalkeeper in there. James, what did you say? 40 million goalkeeper, £40 million goalkeeper at the start of the year, didn't you? And 50 million pounds. So he's up to 12.2 million at the minute worth for me after the last few games. So I don't want Millier to fail. I do not want him to, because I've said it to you two before. If he leaves Leeds, right, he goes somewhere else, I guarantee you he'll become a world-class goalkeeper. I really do. He's got the potential. He just head goes a bit, and the past few games he's been showing just being dominant in goal, and I'm really proud of him. So proud. Big Elan.
Yeah. Yeah. What about you, Evie? What's your thoughts on the old Ilian? I don't know why I said it like that. He doesn't sound like that at all. But
and he looks like my nephew as well, but to be fair, he's the double of him, so I've got to like him. He's got the same ears.
He's the same size.
Yeah.
So massive. His feet hang out the window.
I need like a stool to even see up, to his chest. I think that he has proven his worth. He's proven Daniel Farker's faith in him but there's still 14 games to go, and I think that at the end of the season, fingers crossed, we're in the Premier League. But I personally think that at the end of the season, no matter which league we're in, he will go. And I think that is needed for both sides, because I actually feel for him, because I think Leeds have let him down by not having any actual competition, and also not having a goalkeeping coach for so many years that was basically any good. And he is incredibly young, but he's played over 200 games now for Leeds United. So in terms of experience, yes, age, he's young, but experience, he's not. And some of the mistakes that have been killers for us in some games, Sunderland, Hull, have also been the basics. He's pulled off the extravagant saves, the world-class saves, but yet he hasn't been able to organise a wall. He hasn't saved a penalty that was straight at him. It's these. I know penalties are very, very hard to save. Like, I completely get that, but at some point in 200
Not
games,
if you go the right
he's
way
only...
and you get beyond the ball.
Well, yeah. But, he's played 200 games for us and saved one penalty, which still ended up in the back of the net on the rebound. So whenever we get given a penalty against us, I just assume that it's a goal. It's... And you would hope that within that time, a goalkeeper would have potentially actually saved you a penalty.
Do you know what, Evie? I'd hate for you to give my performance review. Do you know what I mean? You've absolutely battered Millier.
No, I agree with Kev, though.
Nice.
I agree. No, I did. I started off with something nice. I said that he has, improved since the whole game, and I agree in the fact that he has looked more confident, which is something that he hasn't looked probably since before Bielsa left. Really, since that first season in the Premier League, he hasn't really looked confident, because the defence in front of him have let in more and more goals. Whereas at the minute, he has a very good defence in front of, in front of him. Is that defence going to be as sound in the Premier League? Probably not. So therefore, we need a keeper who can save us games, and realistically he's only saved us points in 2 games this season. So it's but I want him to do well. I don't want him to fail, because I would like him and probably Firpo to walk off into the sunset at the end of the season, and we can look back with white rose tinted glasses as they walk off, and we forget
the cinematic
bad times.
sort of circle thing.
A massive explosion, and comets come raining down on everybody.
And then the Death Star appears.
Yes.
Well, the Star Destroyers. In recent, over the past couple of months, there has been a change of power in North America, and due to his, increase in effective performances, there is a law being decreed. The Gulf of Brendan Aronson has been named instead of Mexico, and for those who are reading this is the UK version of Brendan, not the American, because we're right. We was here first, so we can do what we want. Right, quick, James Aronson. He's been effective for me. Has he been effective for you?
Yeah, I would like to just briefly mention about Millier before you go on to Aronson, mate. Sorry. So I think these last few games he has been outstanding, and all we've ever wanted from him is that, not to save his points, because he can't help that he's got an amazing defense in front of him, is that he just makes saves when he has to. And there's been too many times where he hasn't done that, and I've always thought there's a player in there, but now he's doing it, and he's making really good saves and important saves, and he's coming out and he's making himself big again. And now even the crossbar chance against Watford, I think he's done that. He's come out, he's made himself big. The players had to go above him and it's chipped the bar. So I think he's starting to do the things that we need him to do as a goalkeeper in the small doses of play that he's going to be involved in, and he's doing it. And if he can do that till the end of the season, then that's, it's all for us. The thing is with him is that, are we in a position where we can grow with him? So to get to a place where I think there'll be a point in time where he'll be a really outstanding keeper. So are we going to stick with him and sort of grow with him, or are we going to let him go and do it somewhere else? So that's the problem we've got with him. But if he can do that till the end of the season, I'll be very, very happy, mate, because I think he is a really good keeper. There's one in there anyway. He just needs to cut out them stupidness, and I think he's just been a bit lazy behind a really good defense. Now he's like showing his work.
Faults are in his mind, aren't they?
Aronson's really good, man. Yeah. Sorry.
Is that it? Oh.
Yeah. Aronson's been really good. I like his work rate. I like it. He doesn't always have things coming off for him, but it's that Red Bull in his system. It just makes him keep going and going and going and going and going, and he doesn't stop. And that's what I like about him. You can see like there'll be moments when you think, he's running out now, and then no, he's sprinting again. He's doing it again. Boom, 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 like a bee. So very happy with him, and he did do well. Like his pass from the deep, that second goal that we scored, that pass into Pro was fucking. It was a good.
Yeah, that's a hard pass to do. That's really hard. Yeah. The way his body was as well to turn and get that through, that was really good.
I thought he played.
I like him, mate. I do like him.
I feel like his performances of late have been really good. What about you, Evie?
Yeah, and I was very critical of him earlier on in the season, and I still wish that we'd been able to get a number 10 in for competition, because I think that the places where we've seen people flourish the most are where there are competition for their places, i.e. the wings, fullbacks. If you consider kind of, Sam Byram and Schmidt as options at fullback, and then obviously Bogle and Firpo doing brilliantly. Midfield options galore, which is something we've not been able to say a lot over the last few years. So I think that Aronson has been really effective, and I was so happy. I wasn't really that fussed about the cup in terms of, I want to be fussed about the cup, but this year we just need to get promoted, and that is the be all and end all. So I was so happy that he got an actual full 90 minutes rest, because it really made the difference. And obviously we've had almost a week off in between Watford and Sunderland tomorrow. So I think that he'll be up for it again. And if we can, because we're not having to rearrange games to fit in the cup, he is able to get some slightly bigger rests, which I think will do nothing other than benefit us. But we've also got, we've got Solomon and Dan James and Nonto and Aronson, Nonto and Ramazani, that all can be fairly fluid when it comes to like the wings and the 10 positions. So often they all kind of chop and change throughout a game, which means that if you're trying to mark them, it must be almost impossible to do that, because we've got Aronson, you'll find him sometimes on the right wing, doing interchanges with Dan James cutting in on the inside, and then Bogle going on the overlapping run and Aronson joining in with it. It just must be an absolute nightmare for it. So I'm really happy with him, and he hasn't caused a fuss when he's come back. He's been very humble, and I really, I like that about him. He hasn't tried to excuse anything, but he's just put his head down, got on with things, been humble, self-critical, but giving it, all for the team. So he's somebody that I would give a chance. Like if we get promoted, I would want to give him another chance in the Premier League, because you've got to consider he was playing under Jesse Marsh, and then Javi Gracia, then Sam Allardyce, as well as interim managers in Scoobs as well. So he did not have a good season in terms of cohesion and like continuity. So I would like to see him in the Prem again, to see if we can get some of the money basically that we paid for him.
Yeah, make him work. Yeah. Okay, just before we move on then, just a minute on Aronson for you, mate. Has he redeemed himself for you at this point in the season?
he seems like he's the only one that really has redeemed himself out of the obviously the two that have come back this year. He has been hot. He was hot and cold at the start of the year. He's getting a lot more consistent in his play. As James mentioned, he tries stuff and it doesn't always come off. But he, as the Leeds stars would say, he runs about a lot. But he does run about a lot, and he actually defends from the front. You can see he's a very good pressure to the ball, and he does make people move back or pass the ball back to their defense. But if he got injured, we'd probably be in the shit. That's what I think, and I agree with you. We should have got somebody else in. I really think we should have had a number 10 come in January just to make sure that we got over the line. And I do worry if he does get injured, because who's going to play in there? Probably Willie Nonto, Joe Rothwell. So,
probably Rothwell, yeah.
But yeah, I'm very impressed with him. It's like I just said a minute ago, that pass where he had to change his body. He does do a lot of things. He's getting a lot stronger as well than he used to be. And Championship's rougher than the Premier League. So I think if we do go up, when we do go up, I think he'd be a lot better player than he was when we were in there first time around. So, and when he first came. So fingers crossed for him. Still a lot of work to be done on his physicality though, but maybe he'll have a growth spurt.
Well, let's hope so. Let's hope
Kev,
so.
you hold him down. I'll feed him like McDonald's over and over again.
No, he's immune to that. He's American. Come on, Evie.
Yeah.
That's how much.
No, but
modified meats every day. He's been eating his whole life. So, yeah.
Like any penny's chicken or something like that, something with actual
human flesh.
I'd like to shave his head though, that'll be all right. He's got hair like an old mop. So I'll just spin it down, shave it, and then put a wig on it.
Yeah.
Sellotape it on.
Paint some go faster stripes on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that'll work. Maybe what would happen if we changed it from Red Bull to Monster, James? Do you reckon that'd have any effect?
I think it'd explode.
Yeah.
It'd be like putting a diesel in a petrol car.
Yeah. I think
that's fair. That's fair.
I reckon he's got a big American monster truck as well. And when he gets out of it, it's like watching Warwick Davis get out of his car. Do you know what I mean? That's what it feels like. Small man, yeah. In Life's Too Short, that scene.
Yeah, when he falls out. Yeah,
that's what I imagine it's like. But yeah, when he's driving around America.
I reckon he drives a Segway, I do.
Just with helmet on and vibes and everything round Fort Arch, like good morning, y'all. Anyway,
handle that
with a high vis on a Segway. He's trying to go around everywhere.
Normal steering wheels are too powerful for him.
Well, he got done for speed.
His arms every time he tried.
Nearly lost his license when he came back.
Right,
because he can't hold the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Let us move on. So we'll break it up then. So let's get ready for this week's Guess the Player. Now, if this is your first time here, what we do is I'll put a picture up and I'll tell you some facts about this person, this player who used to play for this club, and you've got to try and guess who it is. So are you ready, Evie?
All ready.
Are you ready, Kev?
Yes.
Are you ready, James? You're always ready. On my foot, I feel like gladiators. On my first whistle. I know the Scottish guy. Right. So this is this week's Guess the Player. Now, this player, I'll take that off there. Right. First debuted when he was 6 years old. Had a bit of a pop career. And, throughout the 80s and 90s, he had lots and lots of singles.
Oh, no, it is. It is.
Really? He has brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And what a time for my fact sheet to start loading, you absolute ass. Right, so we're going to have some guesses then. Let's get some guesses in. Well, I'll this was it. This was who you think it might be. Please obviously take in the accounts there. So, Kev, who do you think this might be?
I think it's Michael Ball.
Michael Ball? Why? What makes you say that?
Because that was the name of a singer from the 80s and 90s. It's like a yeah.
So was Steps.
And there was a player called Michael Ball.
Right.
Okay.
All right. Well, okay. Michael Ball. We'll take Michael Ball. James, who do you think it is?
I know it is, but I'm going to say Gary Barlow. Just because I wanted to say Gary Barlow. Gary Barlow.
This is my idea of a good time.
That was genuinely what I was going to say, so I will change it and go with.
I went into your mind and took it. You can't take it. I've took it out your mind.
I'll go with Jason Orange.
Oh, you better get a.
I don't know where this is coming from. I'll give you another fact. Right, this person was child number 8 of his family, the 8th child of his family.
Eight
And he
ball.
broke his nose during a dance rehearsal at one time. Right? Let's go to the comments. Hopefully there's some sensible.
Put on it.
Jimmy, we've got Herbert,
And it turned all his
who
skin
thinks
white.
it's MJ. We've got, is it Jimmy
He
Cranky?
started slapping
Nicky
kids around
Bryant,
Neverland.
Rupert Grint, Pauline Fowler, Rupert, Robbie Williams, Bayat Joby, CeeLo Green, Rupert. What is your obsession with Rupert Grint, Joe? Anyway, let's move on. This is what you saw, and it is in fact, Herbert, Michael Jackson. He played for Man City.
I got it. Oh god.
What a player. What a player he is for Man City. Anyway, that's enough puns for one day.
Played for Fulham as well, didn't he?
About...
I've got a statue of him.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sunderland.
How do you know what time it is in the Michael Jackson household? When the big hand touches the little hand.
It's been nice being a podcast for nearly 2 years. I'm sure we'll get thrown in YouTube jail for that. Anyway, we're talking about Sunderland. Evie, I'll come to you first. We're talking about Sunderland. Evie, we'll come to you first. What is your hopes and dreams for tomorrow? Because if we do beat them, we're 10 points clear of them.
Yeah, I think if we beat them tomorrow, then we realistically put them out of automatic contention, because I don't think that Burnley and Sheffield will drop that amount of points, and Sunderland have dropped points even at their home. I know they haven't lost there all season, but they have dropped a lot of points at home by drawing quite a few games. I am anxious as hell because obviously Sheffield United got yet again another jammy result this weekend after being second best for the majority of the game, which was quite depressing because obviously Burnley got their traditional 0-0.
Drawnly.
Yeah, and then it obviously all got a little bit rowdy as well. I don't know if any of you saw that.
I saw it, yeah.
That was Moyich is a bit of a dick, though. Any man, he's
isn't he the one that bit somebody?
Yeah.
And he's a nasty piece of work.
Is he
And I don't
Serbian or
like
something?
Hannibal.
Yeah.
He is Eastern European, but it's not Serbia.
You're the one bitter person, and you don't like Hannibal. That's
Oh no, I was literally.
I know, right? No, but I don't like Hannibal because of the fact that obviously he's an ex-Scum player, and he was winding us up at Ellen Road earlier on in the season, and he was just a bit of a tosser, and he's he just a bit crap, but he did not deserve what he got at all. There is no room for racism. But back to happy topics of Sunderland, and if we've had obviously 6 days in between Watford, we're at home, but we can't rest on our laurels. Like, we have to take the game to them, but they also have to bring the game to us as well. They can't afford to sit back and just have a point, because we directly are their competition if they want to get top 2. So they have to come to try and take points off us. So hopefully that will work in our favour, but it wouldn't surprise me if we're a lot more conservative in this game and we conserve energy a little bit more and don't go as gun-ho about things. I'm hoping that it's Rothwell and Tanaka in the midfield and that we don't go stupidly defensive, because we are at home. And I hope that the fans are absolutely up for it on Monday night, because they're going to need that extra support to create a cauldron type atmosphere.
I do believe they'll be up for it. I hate it that it's on a Monday night. It's just shit for me. Is that, but obviously in the reverse fixture, James Milliam did that howler. We could have got 3 points there, and we could have been even further away. But that's that. But what do you see happening? Do you think is it routine business for you? 3-0, 4-0? Do you think we'll absolutely batter him? Because obviously with the additions of Enzo Lefebvre and you've got Joe Bellingham, Isadore's in form. They're not pushovers. I do think they did play a good game against us, But I mean, what do you think, mate?
I think they will be way more wary of us than we should be of them. If I'm being honest, I think you might see another, not necessarily a Burnley game, but I think they'll be a lot deeper because we're devastating when we break on teams.
Yeah,
and we've been be a bit deeper. They have got the ability to come at us, but I don't worry about us either. We don't really give away many chances, and Kevin Phillips doesn't have access to the tunnels of Ellen Road, so
yeah,
that won't be happening again. But
who starts in the
yeah,
middle?
I'm
Who starts
confident we're gonna smash them.
Sorry, James. Who starts in the middle for you tomorrow? Do you go Gruev like he did?
I'm thinking that he might. I think this is just me. I think that if Strauch's fit to start, I think he goes Tanaka and Ampadu in the middle, because I really think that he wants Ampadu in the middle of the park at some point when he can get him in there. I think he keeps saying it. He's my most important player. I think he wants him in the midfield, and then the ideal partner for him right now is the man beast himself, Tanaka. So that's what I think he wants eventually.
Man beast.
But whether Strauch's up for starting, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I think.
Who takes set pieces then? Like, who takes corners? Because usually if it's Tanaka, it'd be away from home, it'd be Tanaka and Gruev. Gruev takes them, or at home, it'd be Rothwell taking them. I don't really fancy Solomon or Dan James on corners. It gives me flashbacks of sad times. That's my only concern, is if we don't have either Gruev or Rothwell on the pitch, then we don't have a decent set piece taker or corner taker.
Yeah,
I don't think he relies. He's a bit Bielsa, and he doesn't rely on the corners.
Yeah,
cheating, isn't it?
In fact, when was the last time we scored from a corner? Was it the Rodon goal? Yeah, it wasn't it? Was it Rodon at all?
I don't know. We scored from a throw-in.
Yeah.
Scored from throw-ins instead. Fuck it.
Yeah,
I think it'll be Brendan Aronson taking on. I do, because he ain't no good in the box, is he?
Just on
or Furpo, let Furpo take him.
Yeah, I'll Furpo have him.
Got a good delivery.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, true. Oh, Voba, oh no, he's
no,
not fit,
he's injured.
He's got
conveniently back for the international break. Some things. Yeah, it's a bit fishy.
We shouldn't let him go on that. If he's not fit enough to play for club, he's not fit enough to play for country.
He won't be going. He won't be going there.
No, he won't be going.
Oh no, I'm back.
He won't. Yeah, just go AWOL. Yeah.
I've just lost. Yeah. So Mana Solomon, 4 goals, 4 assists. Dan James, 5 goals, 3 assists. Wingers in superb form. Maybe. I think a lot of short corners this season, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? Just another stat I want to bring up as well, because this may help us in, if things do go south. We're in top, goal difference 47, top in when this came out of the other day. Look at that, Leeds United above Bayern Munich, Barcelona, PSG, Liverpool. That's great stuff, that, isn't it, Kev?
Yeah. Shouldn't Joe Rodon shave his hair off and look mean as shit with a skinhead? I think. Look at his hair in that picture there. He's got just slick back like Jean-Claude Van Damme in Bloodsport. Don't suit him. He needs something better, skinhead. Do you know what I mean?
I think he should go curtains, I do.
He needs a little bit of protection though, because his head is always getting injured. So if you make him into a skinhead,
I think
the ball needs protection from his head. You mean?
Yeah,
some weird substance.
I reckon when he was a kid, he was headering. Those balls what we used to play with, James. Had no leather stuffings on him. He just get slapped with it on his head all the time.
Radioactive ones that made his head swell.
Yeah, that's what I think. But yeah, he could do with a haircut, like skinhead, to make himself proper mean, and then good goal difference though as well.
And have you seen Kingdom Come Deliverance? One of them medieval peasant haircuts where it's just shaved from the ear down, just above the ear down, or in a bowl. Maybe that will scare people. And I know what you're on about there. He got the.
Or he can have like Viking hair, something like that.
Right up.
Yeah.
like that sort of thing. They will
Pigtails.
quiver in fear. Yeah, thanks to Joe for this. If you are, please do like and subscribe. Right, yeah. So, Kev, thoughts on tomorrow, mate? Are you positive? Are you feeling good about tomorrow?
Yeah, I am. I think it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the game that James thinks it's going to be, though. I think it's actually this might end up being a classic because they're quite good. I don't see that Isidore and Lefay is the sort of players that are going to sit back in a team with a low block. That Lefay, I mean, he could have been playing for us. He's that good, you know. He was
linked with us.
Yeah, he's a player that we should have identified for that number 10 slot. He is next level, like way better than the Championship. I think he's just sometimes has a bit of a problem with his attitude and his work rate, but once he gets on the ball, he's brilliant. So yeah, worried a little bit about him. I do think it's going to be a bit of an end-to-end classic myself. I really do.
And he absolutely ended Luke Aylin's career the other day. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw it, but was it like a Cruyff Meg or something on the turn, and Luke Ayling was just stood there like that. You know what I mean? He was just absolutely didn't know what to do. But yeah, I think it goes the same as Watford, and I'm going to go a 2-1 to Leeds. I think we'll go 2-0 up, and we'll
probably some
kerfuffle there.
Win 4-0.
Yeah, I know.
It was the same as Watford at home. To be fair.
Yeah. Same as Watford.
Yes. In your face, James. In your face. Let's get some predictions then. James, what's yours? You're going to go 4?
5-0. 5 fucking 0.
5-0.
5-0. Yeah. Smash that.
Why not? Evie?
I think 2-0.
It's a bit tight, isn't it?
2-0.
Yeah.
What about you, Kev?
Nice safe 2-0.
Safe bet, yeah.
I'm thinking 3-2 to Leeds. I really am in my head. I think these will come at us. They have to pick up points. They're in the playoffs. They weren't expected to be there. I think they're going to come and actually have a go at us. I really do. I think it'll be 3-2 to Leeds.
Yeah, I could see a Leeds
big
win.
Big game from Melier, mate.
It's get these 2 games out of the way. Get a decent points return. I'm talking about the Sheffield game after a week tomorrow. And I think we're up. I genuinely do think if we get 6 points from these next 2 games, I genuinely think we're up and we'll pull away.
It's the back end of the fixtures where if you have a look at our fixtures through April, I mean, there's some like a lot of winnable games, and we've got Plymouth on the last game of the season as well away. I think we've come through like the testing period quite well against all the teams around us. If we get 6 points out of the next 2 games, I think we're up in my eyes. I think we do.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's talking about how good we are, but Sheffield United, they're still there, and they'd be on the same points as us as well if they didn't have the point deduction. It's just they're winning uglier than what we are, and we're doing it all like amazing football, and no one's really taking them seriously, but they're still there. Still there to be worried about, man. Yeah,
he's going to do it again, isn't he? Wilder's going to do it again. He's going to get some fucking ragtag little team with just footballs and cones and get them up. And that's credit where it's due. If he can do that, he can do that. But let's talk about
slapped 8 and 9-0 in the Premier League next season.
Yeah.
What's the point?
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about Sheffield then, because for those that don't know, there is no episode next week because I'm away on holiday. I'm taking the HMS Ellen float to the Caribbean, so on a tour just in case to sort out some pre-season venues and that. I think yeah, exactly. Yeah, James, we'll come to you first, mate. Do you think we'll slap them up at Bramall Lane?
I said we'll get to the top by Christmas, and we won't move. And I still believe that.
Well, we're second now, James.
If we keep playing the way these last few games, only by the game difference, I don't think we lose. We'll win tomorrow. We'll be top again, and same games. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Kevin. Don't be smart, you little shitbag.
Okay. I'm going to mute myself now.
I think we do. I think we get 6 points, mate. I think we go to Bramall Lane and because they have to come at us at their ground, and I think we'll just pop, get a couple of early goals, and then they'll just pat themselves. That's what I think.
Yeah, confident. You're always a confident person, and that's what I like about you, mate. Kevin, What's your thoughts?
I'm
Are
the
you
only
shitting
one.
yourself for the Sheffield? Yeah, they are. Yeah, that's true. Because we're all realists on here, apart from James. Kev?
Again, I feel that game will be like the game tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good game. I think they'll come at us as well because they need to pick up the points. Remember, the pressure is on Leeds for every team that we play now. Every game, the pressure is on us. So I do think we'll win, but I think it'll be like 2-1. I'll do, yeah, like Sheffield United.
Yeah,
they're nowhere near as good as us. And what James
don't
mentioned,
concede goals, guys.
Yeah, I know. I've just said we can see goals in the next 2 matches as well. But come on, they're good sides.
We're just as good as Burnley.
Joe B's not happy with you.
But,
Joe B's not happy with you.
No one talks about our defensive record.
Yeah.
Well, everyone's fascinated about how many clean sheets Burnley have got when they're dropping points every week nearly now at this point. What about you, Evie, then? Sheffield United away?
I think that we'll definitely get a point, and I would go to say that we would probably win for the fact that they have to put on a show, because obviously they did F all at Ellen Road. You know, they didn't even have a shot on target the entire game, so they have to come and play. I don't think Old Hamface will change the setup and the structure like he did when they came to Ellen Road. I think they, what's he called? Ben Brereton Diaz will be somebody that we have to keep an eye on. I think Gus Hamer, he was non-existent in the game at Ellen Road, so he has to put on a performance. And I think because there's going to be a lot of pressure on them to put on a show, that will just work into our hands. Again, these local derbies that certainly seem to mean more to opposition than they do to us, because we just keep on turning up and, you know, kind of ticking them off one by one.
They didn't look great. They didn't look great.
No, that's the thing, is they haven't looked great for quite a while, but winning teams do just get the job done, and we seem to be able to, touch wood, do it with both kind of style and grace, as well as, you know, it can be a little bit gritty at times, but we don't usually need it to be. Yeah, we don't usually need it to be gritty because of the fact that as soon as we score, the other team kind of, you know, it depends. They either try a bit like Watford tried, but just then kept on leaving the exact same gaps open for us to exploit, or they go into themselves and start capitulating again, like Watford did. And, you know, we just exploit them again. You know, we've got such a hard and high pressing team. We'll push them into making mistakes, you know, and we just have to make sure that we are on it structurally when it comes to Meslier not being tested, especially the Sunderland game, because they will be looking to exploit him, you know, considering that it was that goal that really turned the screws on Meslier, and the kind of, you know, magnifying glass was put on him after that game. So but Sheffield, I'd like to see another Yorkshire team up. I don't particularly like them, but I do think that the Premier League needs some more northern teams, and they're more entertaining than Burnley. So I'd much rather Sheffield go up than Burnley.
Yeah, I want Plymouth. My prediction: get Plymouth up, the most southern team, get them up.
The title charge is on. So all round I think we'll beat Sheffield. I think if we get through these next 2 games unscathed, we're up. Right then, let's get into the final segment of Top Knob.
Top Knob.
Right, in ancient Roman times they used to say "Est topus nobis," and that means what's up with you? Off. I just made that up. Kev, who's pissed you off this week?
I don't know. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's really upset me a little bit. Is the booking department at Ellen Road Century Pavilion? That's all I'm going to say with that one. But
that's not going to specifics. But that's a bit silly. James, what do you think? What's pissed you off, mate?
A cat that you touched earlier.
Whatever's given me itchy eyes. I don't know what it was. It could have been a homeless person. Could have been a cat. could have been just STDs
A homeless
floating in the
cat.
air. I don't know, but I was just thinking, yeah. That
Pick one.
I'm gonna call you knob of the week for me. The disease that made my eyes itch. Yeah, bastard.
Let's just put them under the umbrella of diseases. Yeah, so diseases from you. Evie, who's pissed you off this week?
I don't know. I think maybe pundits and commentators and people when they go on about Burnley keeping clean sheets and how they're breaking records and how they don't mention the fact that they've dropped the points. They just mention the fact of the clean sheets when actually clean sheets, like give me a 3-2, a 4-3, a 2-1 any day over a 0-0 because it's the points that matter. You know, the similar way to that, like Kev said earlier on, Sheffield United are only just behind us, you know, but our goal difference is absolutely outstanding, but points on the board, they've only got a couple less than us. So it doesn't matter. You could come fifth and score the most goals. You know, Norwich have scored the second most goals and they're way down in like 11th or something like that. So it doesn't actually matter. So the clean sheets, yes, that's fantastic, but just get over it. Well done. They keep clean sheets, but it's also boring, turgid, brain-numbing football. And people pay to watch that. It's an entertainment business. So they're not even getting the job done by winning every game 1-0. You know, they're dropping a lot of points, especially at home. And in theory, you should be the strongest at home.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean, dropping
pundits
points
going mad over Burnley are my knob of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think everyone's got valid ones.
Which is also a disease.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. I do believe that everyone's is valid. Me personally, I agree with Kev, and I agree with Evie the most. Diseases are just it's just not, you know, it's just the dumb thing that you don't like diseases. But yeah, so those are this week's top knobs.
Top knob.
That is the end of this week's episode, and we will be back. Not next week, but the following week when I'm fatter and tanned. Now, before I ask Kev something, Evie, where can we find you? What's going on with the channel?
Discourse of Peacocks, and I'll be doing a review after the game, probably Tuesday. I've got a few other little bits that I'm going to record as well, but I don't know whether to keep them for international break when we're all pulling our hair. Well, I know you won't be pulling your hair out, Danny, but you know, when the rest of us are pulling our hair out, then I might pull it out then.
Whoa.
Oh, you know, he's such a bully, Evie. I knew it. It's, you know, what people don't see behind the, you know, the curtain, as it were. As soon as she came in, she started bullying people. You know, there's not a lot of people know that about you. Absolute bully.
Yeah.
So yeah, so you got some new stuff coming out. When can we expect that new stuff out? In the next couple of days, or?
Yeah, after the game, and then hopefully a bit further on down the week as well.
Yeah.
International break, Daniel. Listen.
I know. I'm sorry, I'm just thinking about those pina coladas next week. And obviously, anything next week, Kev? Regards, LH.
I'm not sure yet. I haven't really thought about it, to be honest. A lot going on. I guess I'll have a chat with James, maybe, see if there's anything going on, see if I'm busy on the day, or I don't know. We'll let everybody know.
Just
it's
everyone
still there. We're just making some changes to it going forward between me and James. We're going to do some new stuff coming up and maybe some other channels and that as well. Just let everybody know. Yeah. Just keep an eye for the short form content.
Yeah. On the socials and stuff. So thanks everyone for tuning in this week. And wish me well on my holiday. Did I mention I'm going away next week? No. A wise man once said,
Yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe, lads. Top notch. Hey up. Bye bye. Have a nice week, lads.
Diamo Andrea.
What's going on?
Thank you, and we'll see you again.